Hey everybody, Heather here. Welcome to my May market update. This is something that I've wanted to do regularly. I've been a little, excited to get into this with you guys because we are in June. Happy June, everybody. And today, I'm so excited because we have the May stats and there's some really interesting things going on in the market. I know that we can hear a lot on the news about, sales prices are this or homes are selling this quickly or things like that. And the interesting thing about stats, and I know this from digging into these and from seeing what other people put as stats too, that, stats can be spun in different ways. So what I wanted to do is to be able to come on here and break it down to you in a way, number one, that makes sense, and number two, that you understand exactly where those stats are coming from. So here's what I did, because when you just hear stats and they're generic, you may not know what the stats are, what they're for, what they're talking about. So what I did is I pulled market data for 49424, 49423, 49419, I think that's what Hamilton is, and 49464. So Holland, Zeeland, Hamilton. So that's important to know. If you're in Grand Haven or Spring Lake or other areas, this information, there are some general market trends that really cover all of West Michigan and really nationally, but I've broken down these 4 locations specifically to average them. But if you live in a different area, let me know because I would love to pull the data for you. I can interpret the data for whichever area, but if I got on here and did all of the zip codes in our area, well, this would be a long Facebook Live and you guys would probably peace out. So anyways, without further ado, I'm going to talk to you about some important data. So the first thing that I want to talk to you guys about is something called absorption rate. So this may or may not be something that you've heard of before. Absorption rate is a fancy phrase for how many months of inventory do we have. So how long would it take to sell through all of the homes currently on the market? So with that, as you can imagine, homes have been going quickly. You hear that all the time. And it's interesting, without breaking down the data, a lot of times in real estate, people kind of go off of feelings. It feels like things are selling quickly. It feels like the market's moving fast. But I like having the data to back it up. So here are some interesting things. And I do have notes because I wanted to make sure to give it to you guys like straight from the source, broken down, that kind of thing. So, and if you have any questions, please ask them on here. I would love to, answer any questions that you have. I'm here for you. And if you have any questions about how your home, particularly with your neighborhood, how that would compare, let me know because obviously things are going to vary depending on the house, the neighborhood, things like that. So anyways, back to absorption rate. So, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you in terms of last year versus this year, and then year to date, how we're doing compared to last year. So absorption rate, again, how many months of inventory do we have on the market? In May of 2017, we had 1.645 months of inventory. Here in 2018, we have 1.69. So you might be thinking, okay, we have a little bit more inventory than last year. Well, hang tight. Let me explain to you why. So Holland and Zeeland actually both have less inventory, but Hamilton is skewing our numbers. Hamilton actually was at 1.13 in terms of their absorption rate months of inventory last year, and right now they're at 2.61. That's almost double. So they're throwing off the rest of the numbers. If you took out Hamilton, we would be at 1.81 for Holland and Zeeland last year, down now to 1.53, which is actually 15% less this year than last year of months of inventory. So that just highlights we are in an inventory crisis. So 6 months is considered a balanced market. If you're over 6 months, you're at a buyer's market. If you're under 6 months, you're in a seller's market. We are at, in Holland and Zeeland, 1.53 months of inventory. So we are so low on inventory, guys. If you have been thinking about selling, all the things that you've heard about homes going fast, it is true. If you have had thoughts of selling your home, you obviously still need to get it ready, present it properly, things like that. Your home will sell. It's stats, it's numbers. We have such low inventory. It is such a great time to sell. And many of you have questions about how that would work with buying with the low inventory. Well, it depends what your needs are. If you're moving up, there's more inventory in the move-up buyer range than in the first-time home buyer. So if you're looking to move up, a little more wiggle room there. If you're looking to downsize, maybe move to a condo. Condos are different than single family. So it all depends on your situation. I can break down that data for you specifically for what your needs are. But to not get too far down that track, let's talk about days on market. So you hear about, oh, that house sold in 1 day on the market, or sold in, 2 days, whatever, sold right away. So when we look at days on market, there's average days on market, and then there's cumulative days on market, median days on market. So I like to look at the median because when you're looking at averages, you're averaging in the outliers. When you're looking at a median days on market or median sales price, anything like that, you're looking at a cluster around what's the most common number. So with days on market, it's interesting. The median days on market in May of 2017. So many of you would have said, wow, homes are selling so fast last May, right? Like I would have said that, man, homes are just flying off the shelves, right? They're proverbial shelves. But we went from 16.25 in last year, and we are now at 4.75 average or median days on market. So that means most homes are going under contract in 4.75 days or less. So last year 16, now 4.75. That's actually 60% quicker. So homes are going under contract very fast. So one thing that I've told buyers that I'm working with is don't wait till the open house. Don't say, okay, I'll go see that on the weekend. If you see a house that you're interested in, we need to go see it that day. I will make my schedule work to get you in that house, right? Because 4.75 days, that means if it's that low, then that's taking into account, obviously houses that stay on the market longer. So there are a lot of houses that are going under contract in 1 day. Just yesterday, I was looking at scheduling some showings for some new listings, and I wasn't able to schedule them because they were already gone and they had only been on the market for 1 day. So when I pull new listings, it shows the most recent 24 hours of listings. I literally was pulling from that list. So these things hadn't been on the market for 24 hours yet, and they already had fully executed offers on them. So guys, we have got to see homes quickly because the days on market is low. Now, if you're a seller, that's a great thing because that means you are going to have that peace and that assurance that your home is under contract very quickly in the process, which frees you up to not be worried about that, to not be doing showings for, endless amount of time, things like that. And if you're a buyer, again, that just means you need to move fast. And again, there's some caveats there. If you're looking in higher price ranges, things like that, there may be a little bit more flexibility, but we're talking medians and averages here. So again, if you have questions about your specific situation or what the stats are for what you're looking to do, I can break that down for you. The next thing I want to talk about, something that you guys probably all wonder about, because I know I always wonder about this, is sales price. So again, we're going to look at the median. The average sales price is always going to be higher. So that's what you're going to hear in the news. The average sales price is $250 or $300 or whatever. Well, that's taken into account if you added up all the houses on the market and then just divided them by the number of houses. So you're averaging in the $1 million house with the $30,000 house, of which there are none, but theoretically. So and when you use the median, again, you're looking for that cluster. Where do the most homes sell? So that is a better stat that's more indicative of home prices in the area. So for May of 2017, we had that median price of $202,200. And in May of 2018, that number is $186,600. So there again, that is lower. That's actually quite a bit lower. You're about $20,000 lower on the median sales price. And so that might lead some of you to think, oh no, home prices are falling. No. Again, stats are all about how you interpret them. So when you just look at the raw number, it might say one thing, but you need that interpretation. So, the thing about that is Hamilton and 49424, so north side of Holland, those are the ones that are dropping that number. They have a lower median sales price. And so you might think, oh no, the price in the area dropped. That's not the case because again, it's all about how you look at it. So what it is that there are more homes in that first-time home buyer bracket that are coming on the market. So you just have more of the homes in that price range coming on. And so that's why it's clustering that way. It doesn't mean that home prices are falling or anything like that. In fact, that's not the case at all. Home values are holding steady and rising in a lot of the areas in our immediate West Michigan area. So we've seen continued appreciation, things like that. So again, this is just based on the number of homes that have come on the market and how that affects the interpretation of the data. So what this means for buyers is that there are more first-time homes available. There are more homes in those, 120 to 200 price range, first-time home buyer range. You're going to be able to, again, have to move quickly because things are going fast. There are more buyers out there than there are homes. That's just the way it is. So you're going to want to get in fast. But there are more homes in that bracket coming on. As far as sellers goes, again, that's great. If you are in maybe a starter home, maybe your home is starting to feel a little tight or whatever, it's a great time for you to sell that because you likely will very easily find a buyer for your home, and then you'll be able to find that move-up home that you're looking for. So again, opportunities are there for both. And then for those of you who are considering downsizing, this is also a good thing. So if you're considering downsizing, then your home, those starter home people that have sold that are moving up to the next level home, there are buyers there that are looking for that next level home. So you can rest assured when you put your home in the market that there are buyers out there for it, which is a great thing. When you go to look at then what you're going to find, it depends what you're looking for when you downsize. A lot of downsides are looking for condos. There's more inventory than single family, things like that. So again, it's all in how we interpret the data. It's all in how we break it down. There are so many more stats we could go into. We could talk about the number of new listings or the average sales price to list, which is high. In some areas, it's over 100% is their average for this month. So that was, something definitely interesting to take into account. But, there's so many different stats we could go into. I can't go over them all, and I don't want to bore you, certainly. But I did want to talk about, we've looked at May of this year compared to May of last year, but you might be thinking, okay, well, how does that fall in the grand scheme of things? Because one month could really, it could just be an interesting month. There could be some, nuances to the houses coming on the market, things like that. So when we look at year to date, that to me is very telling as well. And for that, the first thing I want to go back to is that absorption rate. How many months of inventory do we have? So we overall, when you look at all of those zip codes that we talked about, we have 6.825% less months of inventory. Again, Hamilton skewed that number. So if you take Hamilton out of the mix, we actually have 14% less months of inventory. So again, the inventory has not increased. We have lower inventory than we had last year. And many of you would have already seen last year as a competitive market. We're in that same boat, guys. We have low inventory. We need people who have thought about selling to put their homes on the market and trust the process. Trust that when you put your home on the market, we will work to find you a buyer or to find you something to buy. We need homes to come on the market. So many homes have been with that inventory just not on the market, that's what's causing this kind of backlog and this low inventory. So also cumulative days on market, the median, again, for our area, the days on market, that means the time until a home goes under contract from the day that it was listed. We are down 16% overall in our cumulative days on market. So again, less days on market, less inventory. That makes a lot of sense, right? Like if you have lower inventory, things are going to go faster. Sales prices, interestingly enough, when you look year to date, are actually kind of holding steady. And I'm going to actually just break this down by area because I think that's the most telling. So if you will bear with me. So let's look at Zeeland first because that one's interesting. This year, median sales price in Zeeland, it is actually lower than last year, believe it or not. Last year, the year-to-date median sales price was $210. This year, it's $201. So that means home prices they're not increasing like they were before. It doesn't mean it's bad. It may just be that we're getting more of those starter homes again. So it's not indicative overall of lower sales prices. It just means you have to dig into the data more deeply to figure out what the deal is and why it's doing that. And then if we look at let's see here, 49424. So north side of Holland, all you north siders out there. The median sales price actually has risen 8.57%. So if you're on the north side and you thought about putting your home on the market, or maybe you thought about it last year, now's a great time because your value has gone up from last year, or your median sales price. Last year, year to date, 2017, so by the end of May, 192.5 was that median sales price. Now it's 209. So quite a big jump there, actually. Then when we look at, let's see here, the Zealand. So let's check out my handy dandy sheets here. 49423. So south side of Holland, right? South side of Holland, median sales price this time last year, 165,750. This year, year to date, median sales price, 165, holding steady. So less inventory, less days on the market. Prices are somewhat holding steady though. Hey, Kristen, I see you on there. And then the final one we're going to talk about is Hamilton. Again, Hamilton has been a little bit of a data skewer this time. So let me just talk to you about Hamilton. So home prices. So it's actually showing year-to-date home prices, median sales prices were 225 this time last year, and the median this year for Hamilton, 200,500. So that's actually, almost 11% lower. But again, we're seeing more of those homes come on in those lower price ranges. So we would need to break this data down more to really get into, why these things are happening and things like that. But the bottom line is we just have low inventory, and that is making it hard. We need more inventory. We need more people to have faith in the process. Every seller I've worked with has been able to find a home. I know others are experiencing that too. There's lots of new construction. So there are different options, but really to ease up the speed of the market, we really just need more inventory. So if you have any questions about any other areas, like I said, I didn't cover Grand Haven, I didn't cover Spring Lake, West Olive. There's so many more areas that I could go into that I work in, but I didn't want this to get too long or to bore you to death with numbers. But there are some interesting things going on in the market. Some interesting things with home, average sales prices, interesting things with days on the market, how much they dropped in Hamilton alone last year, the cumulative days on the market. So time it took the median number of days on the market was 36. Right now it is 6. So 30 days less. So there's just some very interesting things going on. If you have questions about it, if you have questions about buying or selling, even if you're not sure about what you want to do or you want to know, what's predicted next year versus now, let me know. I can tell you this, we don't see a shortage of inventory, or we don't see this shortage of inventory ending anytime soon. So likely we will continue to have low inventory. Yeah, Kristen, 6 days, very crazy. So, and if you look at the average, I don't know if you're on here at that point, but the average or median days on market last year overall for our areas was 16.25. This year, 4.75. So that's like the median number of days it took for a home to go under contract, 4.75. That's why we're seeing so many go under contract in a day. There's all of those, and then you might have one that takes a week or two, but most of them right around that 4.75 days. So again, very interesting stats. We need inventory. We need people to have, again, confidence, faith in the process. Lots of new construction, lots of interesting things going on. So you can reach out to me, 616-610-9948. Check me out at homesweetholland.com or on Facebook at Heather Klempmaker Realtor if you want to know more. And if you, again, want to know how, what your opportunities could be for buying and selling, let me know. There's no pressure. I'm not going to force you to sell. I'm not going to force you to buy, but I'm here to provide information as I can. I hope that you guys have a great weekend. I'm super excited. It's supposed to be, I think, like 73 and sunny tomorrow. So kind of a perfect day for family activities, doing more yard work. Last week we did so much yard work. We still have more to go, but it's going to be perfect weather, perfect weekend. Have a graduation party for a relative. A lot of you probably are doing those same kinds of things. So I hope you have a great weekend, and I will catch you back here next week. Bye.